This is what my home setup looks like for wax sculpting. Now everyone has different requirements and they have their own taste, but I thought I would just share my space to show you that you don't really need a crazy setup to make wax jewelry from home. I'll also mention that I've removed a lot of my advanced jewelry making tools from this video, just so that you can see exactly what you need to have in order to make very simple wax jewelry designs. You don't need a large area for the actual workspace itself. You could use an old computer table or a small dining table. I'm just using a table from IKEA, and I like this one because it's nice and solid, but it's not too heavy. I also don't really believe that you need a premium jeweler's bench. Just any old desk or space will do, as long as it's not too rickety or too dodgy. You can use any chair, but I'm trialing this saddle chair to see if it helps a bit with my posture. Attached to my desk, I have a gooseneck light, a rotary mount where I hang my Dremel and my safety goggles and my mask, and I also have an extractor fan on my desk and a pedestal fan as well, and that's totally up to you. I'm working in a small space, so I like to keep the airflow moving and keep it as clean as possible. Okay, so this is a regular baking tray to catch all wax droppings and a 100mm vise with jaws that open and close, which is great because I can use it to hold my mandrel in while I sculpt. I have a soldering iron that ranges from 100 to 450 degrees Celsius. You can use any soldering iron, but it is preferred to have one with an adjustable temperature. This iron has a pencil style tip and it can easily be replaced if it breaks over time. You can use whatever wax that you want, but I prefer to sculpt and build with blue ferrous wax. Now you can get wax in tubes like this, or blocks, or sheets. I personally like the tubes because they're just easier to work with, in my opinion. You can use a wood or steel mandrel, but if you're making rings, you'll be using this tool pretty much from start to finish. This is regular masking tape or painter's tape, and you'll be using this to wrap around your mandrel and mark out your ring size. This is a ring sizer, and you'll slide them over the top of your mandrel and your masking tape, and you'll use a pen to go around and mark out your ring size. I recommend having a cleaning pot available on your bench. You'll use this as you work, and it's just to dip your iron into so that you can remove any wax buildup from your iron tip. I don't use any fancy carving tools in my craft. I really only use this half round file and the 3 square file, and I use a paintbrush because it's super handy to brush away any wax debris that eventually builds up around my designs as I carve. I use this knife to remove stones, shape my design, and to remove the wax model from the mandrel. It's important to keep some spare blades handy, as you can really see the difference between a sharp blade and a blunt blade. I am obsessed with these sanding sponges. They're amazing for smoothing out the surface of wax models, but if you can only get regular sandpaper, that is fine too. You don't need this in the beginning, but if you are trying to get your sizing exact, then it is recommended to have a ring sizer mandrel, just so that you can check that your wax is the correct size. This is methylated spirits. Now I dip a Q-tip into this liquid and I gently wipe away any wax debris or dirt or oil from my wax models, but you can use orange oil if you're looking for a more natural alternative. I use these connector stacking containers and recycled bubble wrap or whatever I can find to gently wrap around my wax models before I send them to my casting house. So that's pretty much the only setup that you need to start working on wax designs. Now this can literally be your kitchen bench. As you can see, most of the tools fit onto the tray, which makes it easy for pack down if you don't have a dedicated work area yet. Of course, once you start working with metal, things can look a little bit different and you'll probably need a bit more space, but as for the wax, you could probably get away with even less tools than this. But this is ultimately what I recommend for producing high quality wax designs at home. If you're curious about lost wax casting and want more wax jewelry content, hit subscribe. But if you're ready to actually start making jewelry, I'd love to have you in the online wax course. Links in the description below. I'll see you there.